I know.
Hey,
Hi.
cheers.
Mine's not open. We're drinking Spindrift today.
If you've never tried it, you're missing out.
This is like my lifeline.
The holy grail.
It's like all I drink for something fun.
If I'm not drinking regular water with electrolytes, this is what I'm drinking.
I'm drinking Spindrift.
But I'm jealous. She has peach strawberry. I've
Peach
never had it.
strawberry. Peach strawberry is like my new. I mean, I don't know. I could go on and on.
No,
about
what
how
was
I
the
am.
before we get going? What was the darn it? I posted about it. It was like my favorite one, and it's just my favorite so much that I can't remember the name of it. But anyways,
I love all flavors
all of them
of
at the same
Spindrift.
time.
If you've never tried Spindrift, get off the LaCroix, my friends.
For many reasons.
For many reasons.
If you want to drink bugs, drink LaCroix.
Get onto the Spindrift. And Spindrift, I would like to say, is not sponsoring this, even though
We would
they
love that.
should.
They should.
I've been turning people onto Spindrift for like I don't even know how many years.
I'll make all my mocktails with Spindrift if they send it. Plug. Hey.
Come on, Spindrift. Okay, anyway, let's get into
We're getting into it.
Wellness Wednesday.
Wellness Wednesday, baby.
Hello.
Hey.
Glad you're all here. Today's topic is one that I feel like everybody kind of asks or gets to when they're thinking about switching to either clean products or just going a little bit more non-toxic or whatever it is. And that is like, where do I start? I feel like people just get overwhelmed with all of the information that is thrown at them, and like it all just seems so scary in the beginning. And I know like that's exactly how I felt. I was like in cancer treatments, already had the food like completely down, but hadn't tackled like the personal care products or cleaning products, candles, none of that. And that just seemed like so massively overwhelming and scary that I was like, oh, I don't know where to start.
It's about the 1%.
Yes, we're gonna try and simplify that for you in a couple ways. So, Caitlin, I wanna know, like, or what do you tell people, where should they start when it comes like to in the kitchen?
Well, I think the baseline, contrary to what most people would think, it's not actually the food. Because it does not matter how clean your food is, what you cook your food in is what matters. So, to not overload the science, we're gonna focus on three types of materials that you should be cooking on. The only three. Number one, stainless steel. I do know, and I'm going to tell you that, and someone's going to come back and say, I can't cook in stainless steel, it's too difficult. That's okay. First of all, it's a learning process. It is a learning curve, it's totally fine. Stainless steel. Number two is cast iron. If you don't own a cast iron skillet, go to your mama's house or your grandmama's house and borrow steel one. Or, fun fact my mom told me, and this is actually a great thing, because like, go to an antique store and buy an old school one, because the seasoning on it, and we can talk about that another day, but a well-seasoned cast iron skillet is, but a lot of times you can't find one super well-seasoned just like off the shelf, so antique store. Yeah. And then number three is going to be like your stoneware, like a Le Creuset, Staub. Those are easy to cook in. They're super easy to clean. A little soaking action with some baking soda vinegar does wonders, so don't be intimidated by those. But again, to recap, it's going to be stainless steel, cast iron, or your stoneware.
Yeah. Okay.
Those are the three. So,
and it's going to be an investment. I feel like I will say that my husband and I were incredibly grateful to my mother-in-law, who like gifted us a bunch of stainless steel cookware like early on.
Oh, that's a blessing.
I mean, we got married when we were 19. We didn't know what we were cooking with. So, I mean, she was like, no, you guys have to have the good stuff. But had no idea, just number one, how long it would last. We still have so many of these pots and pans and everything. But it is an investment. So start small. Start with like that one pot or pan that your family uses all the time.
Get a skillet.
Large skillet. Yeah.
The little baby skillets, don't invest in that until you have like a large skillet, and then also like oh my gosh. Oh my word, I can't get my words out. One that goes in the oven, a Dutch oven. Jeez. Because you can also use a Dutch oven on the stove top.
Yeah.
So,
ooh, that's a good tip.
Yeah. Message me with any questions. I'm happy to walk you through it. But like, I will tell you, there is a lot of greenwashing happening. A lot of clean brands saying they're creating like they're non-stick. Okay, let me tell you, no matter if they're using clean ingredients or not, then just get rid of the non-stick, please.
Yeah,
because
I'm like, you can't be eating coating.
No.
And I don't care. How are you going to make a non-toxic coating that can be cooked at a high... Like, I have so many questions.
That's going to peel off.
Yeah.
That's going to peel off.
Okay, so we've started with our cookware. Now what do we do?
And when we get to, still not the food, the number 2 that I would get rid of are seed oils. That can be an entire conversation for another day. Seed oils. If you have them in your kitchen, I want you to take the phone as you're watching, walk into your pantry, and throw them away. So canola oil, vegetable oil, peanut oil, and all of those, bye-bye.
So which ones do you like?
So focus on extra virgin olive oil. That can be another conversation for another day because there is greenwashing in olive oil on the shelves at the grocery store. I can help with that. Extra virgin olive oil. Avocado oil has a great high smoke point. Coconut oil for baking. I don't use a ton of that because of the saturated fats, but when you bake gluten and dairy free, it's kind of necessary sometimes.
Okay.
Also, one of my favorites is beef tallow.
Yes.
I would rub that on my body for all the benefits of it, but beef tallow does have a strong taste, so just but it's so rich, fantastic on fries. But beef tallow, grass-fed preferably.
Yeah, I like ghee.
And ghee was going to be my last one. That is a very distinct taste, just a forewarning. Some people
it's like a nutty butter.
Yeah. So I would say let's focus on today those 2.
Okay.
So it's cookware, seed oils. Please send me a message with any questions. I'm happy to answer. I think we have a comment. I'm going to read. Well, hold on. Let me see. Wash my face with extra virgin olive oil today. I know you're talking cooking rice. Oh, that is a fantastic way to remove makeup.
Listen, my Italian ancestors would tell you that olive oil on the face, on the hair, on the skin,
I had a friend that literally, she'd come out of the shower and she would rub olive oil all over her body. Like your everywhere oil. Plug everywhere oil.
There's not olive oil in it, but it's like so good.
But like all over her body. I'm like, what did your sheets look like? She was like, you don't want to know. They were washed often. Yeah.
I didn't really think about that.
Yeah, that's like, no offense to all of you people that over spray tan. I'm like, I don't understand how many of you have white beds. But I digress for now. So I'm going to flip the switch and I'm going to ask Kelsey, because like she said at the beginning, skincare, makeup, hair care, candles, essential oils, laundry detergent, dishwashing detergent. Literally that doesn't even touch the surface. Where do you start with people so that they're not literally freaked out and overwhelmed?
So my biggest thing is, number 1, when it comes to like personal care products, it is so individual. So everybody is different. So I don't ever tell the same, like any 2 people that this is where you need to start. My biggest piece of advice is to like keep a little notebook or just like a running tab in your phone. Just do it for one day. Name all of the products that you use. So like if you start out your morning and you're wiping down your kitchen counters, that's one. So how, like you're using cleaner. Do you light a candle every day? Do you have plugins in your walls? Like those types of things. And then just go through what you do. Washing your hair, and then that's like day 1. And then keep kind of like a running tab for a couple days. And see what are you using most often. So if you don't put on foundation every day, probably don't start there because I feel like that's wasted money. Everybody's going to be different. So if you're putting on deodorant every day, start with your deodorant. If you're lighting a candle every day in your office and that's primarily where you sit for 7-8 hours a day, I'd probably start with the candle. If you have young kids, I've got 4, and you're just doing a massive amount of laundry, then maybe start with your laundry detergent.
Plugins.
Oh, yeah, no to the plugins.
I think I got a headache coming on with her just mentioning that.
Yes, like instantly. So I would say for me, that's where I start is I have people start like a running list, and I've actually done that with customers who have come in the store and they're like, they come in with their makeup bag and they're like, I want to get rid of all of this. And I'm like, hold the phone. Like, I could do that. I could sell you 400 products today, but like 100%. In good conscience, I can't do that. Like, I won't do that. So let's go home and let's see like what products are you actually using on your face? And then let's start there. And then when we're switching those things that I'm looking for obviously are fragrance. If you got fragrance in there, phenoxyethanol, PEGs, polysorbates, I mean, the list goes on. You can go on parislaundry.com and see my like ingredient restrictions list, and you can go off of those and then just mirror that to your list. But I think that it shouldn't be overwhelming because this is individual to you. It's individual to your family. So don't let it be so daunting that it's like, oh my gosh, I have to switch everything. Don't do that. Have your list, and then from your list, be proactive about when you run out of something, switch it. So if you have your top 5 and you're like, okay, top 5 deodorant, finish your deodorant. And when you're going to repurchase, because you're obviously going to repurchase that product, buy something cleaner.
And I would say to go off of that as well is just as a reminder, like 1% better a day. I love her take on like finish what you have. I mean, we're not asking you to throw away thousands of dollars of stuff, but like you might want to toss the candle that's like just burning.
Yeah, I mean, like some things it's like, okay, you can get rid of the candle. You don't really need to burn that down. Like, let's just get rid of the candle, swap out to a really good candle.
And like, don't go swiping all of your cookware, but like, let's find one skillet at a time. And the thing is, like, people ask me all the time, they're like, what about knives? Like, just things that I'm like, you don't have to spend $7,000 and do a complete kitchen overhaul to make a difference.
Yeah.
Even just removing one thing at a time. And you know what? Like, I love that you do that. I should probably ask people to make a list of like, what are the things that they consume mostly.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you eat a ton of beef, let's switch to grass-fed beef, if you can afford it, rather than like overhauling all of your meat and like shipping it in from across the country.
Yeah.
So either one of us, if you make a list, that is your challenge before next week.
Yeah,
make
just
a list.
make a list, because I can tell you right now, I have so many people that come in the store initially thinking I'm going to purchase new makeup. And then I'm like, okay, so what makeup are you using at home? And they say, well, I don't really use that much makeup. And I'm like, well, then why are we starting with makeup? Let's see what you do use at home. Do you wash your face every day? Yep, twice a day. Let's start there. Let's not do it just because everybody else is doing it or an influencer just talked about titanium dioxide in your bronzer. Well, if you're not wearing a bronzer every day, you might be good. Yeah. Like, let's just start where you are. Start with, I don't know, tampons, pads. Like, start with things
for those
that
of you don't know. The ultimate personal care.
Yes, like
that has
start in those places instead of, and then the same with like where it goes to your kids too. That's another thing, is I feel like everyone just kind of freaks out and is like, oh, I don't want to use this. I can't use these bath bombs on my kids. How often are your kids using bath bombs? Like, let's maybe not start with bath bombs.
What kids are using bath bombs?
I've been doing this for 5 years. I've heard some crazy things.
Luxurious children over here.
I'm just
I was just throwing a bath.
I'm just saying, like, when it comes to your kids, I'd probably start with toothpaste, because that's something that they're most likely swallowing. So,
and I encourage you to flip over that and to the back of that. I was somewhere, I'm not going to disclose any details, and came across children's toothpaste and holy no words.
It's so bad. So those are like some key tips and takeaways that I would say, like, don't let it overwhelm you. Don't let it be so scary that you decide just like not to do it because you're like, I'm so overwhelmed. It's going to cost me so much money in order to do this. No, you have to think about this as a healthy, like, lifelong journey. It's not necessarily you need to be by 2024, you've got to have all clean. Like, no, that's unrealistic. It's not sustainable. No. Like, it's super wasteful in that regard too. So just highlight your top 5 and make that your goal, is to switch those when you run out. Or if you feel like I need to switch these today, then at least it's just 5 products and you're not trying to do 55.
Yes. But we're here as a resource.
Ask us.
I would love to help.
All
Seriously.
the questions. Yeah. Get on her with the kitchen.
And speaking of, for example, I'm just going to throw this out here. People consume a lot of beverages. Mm-hmm. Most people don't consume near enough water a day. So we're just gonna leave it at that. Okay.
Yeah, your skin loves water.
Your skin loves water. But let's be honest. So I don't drink sodas. I haven't for years. That's just not been a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like sparkling water,
Yeah.
my jam.
Yeah, absolutely.
Spindrift. I am trying to get them to sponsor our Wellness Wednesdays. Not really, but we just thought about that before we started. But seriously,
I've been trying to get
what are your
Spindrift to
ingredients?
sponsor this breast cancer survivor for
Yes.
6 years.
Carbonated water and fresh fruit
Fruit
juice.
juice.
Not artificial
You can
sugars.
find it, and you can find it everywhere. Like it's
Literally.
so, yeah. So that's where you can start. Those are our actionable tips for this
Yes.
Wellness Wednesday. Leave all your comments. Thanks for joining us.
Give us your top 5. We'll help you make the switch to safer.
Okay, we will see you
Until next week, guys.
next Wednesday.
Cheers.
Bye.